Hey, this is Andrew again with T.C.W.S.M Fitness. Today we're going to be doing a lot of bicep exercises. I'm going to walk you through a couple generic ones, regular standing bicep curl, standing dumbbell curl, and then we're going to get into more advanced exercises for your biceps as well. The key thing about bicep exercise, you want to make sure your elbow is isolated. A lot of the time with curling, your elbow starts actually rocking forward or rocking back. You'll see a lot of guys in the curl, they'll get in the gym, they'll sit there and just pull the weight up the whole time, the back leans forward, and they rock it back up, grunting the entire time. And all they're pretty much doing is wasting their energy because they're using their shoulders and their back to help the exercise up. If you have to rock and really get the weight all the way up, you should drop the weight, that way you can do it proper. So this is a standing bicep curl with a barbell. Proper thing you need to do is get hand positioning, just like a bench. You're gonna come over here. Just like on bench, you wanna make sure your hand's even. So on the bars, you'll usually see a rough section and a smooth section on the bar. Make sure your hands are equal on each side. I know my grip's over on the wide side of the bar, so when I put my hands down, I judge it from the outside grip where it's smooth and where it's rough. So right here, I'll be putting about 1 inch in with the rough section showing, and 1 inch in rough section showing on that side. From here, you're gonna pick up, make sure you're nice and isolated. Your shoulders are not slouched forward, you're gonna be pulling back, so you're nice and tight. Your shoulders are nice and even, your hands are placed evenly on the bar, and when you curl, you breathe out. Breathe in on the way down. Okay, now when you curl, like I said, to watch the elbow stays exactly where it needs to be. There's no motion forward, there's no motion backwards. You want to isolate that bicep. And you'll feel your arm stop yourself just before you go, because if I went any higher, you see that elbow motion comes forward. You don't want that, you want to isolate it to your side. All the way down and all the way up. Okay, so isolation is very important. That's the key with bicep curls and also tricep exercises, which we'll be doing later for the next video. But bicep, isolate the elbow to your side and really breathe on every rep and stay stationary and take time, drop weight if you need to. But that's the bicep curl. All right, so now we're going to be doing the alternating bicep curl with dumbbells. Now dumbbells are very, very important as well because on a barbell curl, when you're curling up, you might have a dominant side, so when you're curling, you're actually pulling harder with one arm over the other. So on dumbbells, you're actually getting an equal amount of exercise in each arm, which gives you more symmetrical looking muscles and is actually equal on each side, especially for bodybuilding. Very, very important. Also, overall looks and appearance, it's good to have equal on each arm. You don't look like Quasimodo lopsided to the side. You don't want that, okay? So on dumbbell curls, same thing applies with dumbbell curls as it does with barbell curl. You got to really focus though even harder on these because it's single hand, okay? So you got to really pay attention to that isolation of the elbow. So when you're coming here, you should have your hand palm facing your hip. And when you actually go for the curl, you breathe out, rotate up, with the palms facing up to the ceiling. So that elbow stays stationary, stop at that breaking point, and all the way back down. Then you rotate the next arm, all the way up, let it all the way back down. Nice and controlled. So you don't want to come up and then drop it down. Okay, dropping is actually wasting half the exercise. That slow, controlled downward phase actually gives you more of a contraction and actually quicker results. Okay, so that is the standing dumbbell curl. One last thing though, when you're doing this, make sure when you have your hand coming up, when you're curling, this is a breaking point for your bicep. There's a 90-degree angle for a bicep curl. You can go just past that and stop. If you go too far up, it puts all the exercise in your shoulder. Okay, so make sure to stop about right here. All the way down for a full extension and stopping at that breaking point. Okay, so what we're on right now is called the preacher's bench. Very important for bicep curls. When you're working your biceps, you'll see these in the gym. Some people don't know what they are. It does look like a torturing device system, but you're sitting down, have your chest against the machine. You want to have it to where your chest is actually in a position where it's right here. Some people get too far up and it actually takes away from the exercise. So if you have to, drop that seat down to be at a proper level, okay? From right here, I've actually got a good distance. My elbows are fully locked. I'm in a position where my arms are resting on the pad. If you don't feel that resting, you're probably too high. So to drop the seat down. You want to get your hands in a good, comfortable position. I already know mine's about a ½ inch in from the rough section to the smooth section on the bar. So you get my hands right there. And when I curl, you want to kind of sit up with it. That way when you raise it up, you're actually not straining your elbow or your shoulder. So you raise up to get the bar moving, pick it up and get it in position. And then once you're here, you can let it down. You want to control it the entire time. So breathing in on the way down and out on the way up. So you keep your elbows in. Some people have their elbows out. It works a little bit more on the lateral side of your bicep, but you're working mainly the main head of your bicep. So you have to have your elbows in, okay? So you're letting it down slow, breathing in. Once you get down to that full extension, breathing out. And once again, just like standing bicep curls, you want to stop it at that breaking point. Don't go up here because that's relaxing. You'll see a lot of guys going, oh, I'm doing great. No, it's just you're relaxing. So you want to keep in that tension zone right here. All the way down, breathing in, all the way up. Try to pull equally with each arm. You can also do this exercise with a dumbbell. If you had a dumbbell in your hand, you would do the same motion, same everything, but you have your hand here to support your arm, make sure it doesn't move, and you're curling it up with the dumbbell, okay? So actually I can grab one real quick. I'll show you that. So right here, same motion, sitting down, make sure the bench is in a good position. It's the identical motion of the regular preacher's bench curl, but you're doing it with a dumbbell. So it's, like I said, isolating one side so it makes sure you're symmetrical. So it's always good to do maybe one of each. If you'd be going down, usually you remove the bar so you get more extension, but I'll show you just right here. Going all the way down, making sure the elbow doesn't move, breathing out, on the way up, stays in that contracted zone, back down. Full extension, okay, don't stop sooner than that. Get full extension, then right back up. Okay, very important to get that full extension so you get the long head of the bicep. Okay, so this is the preacher's bench with dumbbells and barbell. Okay, so this is concentration curl. It's very important as well for bicep. All these exercises are actually right where it needs to be for bicep curls and actual bicep exercises. This one's very important because it directly concentrates on the bicep. You're trying to really eliminate all motion away from rocking your shoulder, using other momentum to help you out in the exercise. So in this, you would grab onto a dumbbell, you try to really drive that elbow, don't look down, you drive that elbow down to the actual leg. So you're pushing in this way, that way there's no rocking of the elbow backwards and forward for momentum. Coming here, being able to curl all the way up, stop at that breaking point like before, all the way back down, okay? It's very key to keep that elbow right to the mid part of your thigh. Don't have it too far in and don't have it too far up because that throws it off on your shoulder. So you put it right in the middle, boom. Once it's right in the middle of your quad, you should be angling your arm out here, curling straight up, down slow. Always go return down very slow. It helps you out with the exercise, gives you better results. You reverse the opposing arm, elbow in, right here, going all the way up, all the way down, nice and slow. Okay? So that's concentration curl. If you do not have a bench, you can also stand up in this position here, where you have your arm behind your elbow to act as your leg, and from here you would curl up and down slow. And once again, that elbow and that leg is preventing you from doing this. You don't want to rock yourself up. There's no motion forward and backwards. You're right here, nice and isolated. Okay, so that's concentration curl. All right, so this is supine bicep curl. Supine is to be laying on your back. It's just a technical term. Prone is to be on your stomach. Supine is to be on your back. So this is what they call the supine bicep curl. It prevents any backward momentum to help you with the actual exercise. You're isolating that bicep by doing this. So you're going to get a bar and put it on the cable system, most likely, because that's usually where you're going to be able to do this. You can do it with a bar, but it doesn't have that actual pull directly back down. That would be just going straight down. So being on a cable system is best. You're going to be laying down flat, having the bar on, feet are going to be stabilized against the back of the machine, having your head all the way down, and you're going to curl up. Okay? So once again, you stop at that pinnacle point. Once you're here, go all the way down and all the way up. And if you get better at it, you can put your hands a little wider and you're going to lock your elbows into your ribs. That way there's absolutely no motion to the back. Elbows are on the ribs at that pinnacle point, all the way down. Get full extension, all the way up. All the way down, breathing out, all the way up. So remember, don't go all the way up here because that's just relaxing. I have no strain in the bicep at this position. But here, it still keeps the tension. You're coming all the way down, breathing, all the way up. Okay? So that is the supine bicep curl. Just try to look for a cable machine in your actual gym and look for the lower section of cables. They're usually on a pulley system and you'll be good to go. Alright, so we're going to be doing the hammer curl. Hammer curl is for the lateral part of your bicep. It's the smaller muscle on the outside part of your arm, and it also works through your forearm as well. Okay, so through a hammer curl, you can do dumbbells or you can do a barbell. The barbell is also called a reverse grip curl. I'll show you that after this one right here. This one's dumbbell, so you're pretty much doing the same motion as a dumbbell curl, but it's for a position to have your thumb up. Okay, usually on a curl, your palm's facing up. With a hammer curl, your thumb's facing up. And you want to slightly turn your thumb in towards your body. Okay. So towards your midline of your body, going all the way down, get full extension, then all the way up. And you see how it has a kind of a 45-degree angle on that barbell, or that dumbbell. Okay, so you're going to be rotating back and forth, in, all the way down, all the way down. Okay, always make sure to breathe out and isolate those elbows to your sides. There should be no motion coming forward or backwards. Okay, so isolation is very key. The same positioning though would be on a barbell. Rather than curling with your palms facing up on the bar like this, you would actually be reversing your grip on the bar. Okay, so rather than being in a normal position here curling, you're going to reverse your grip on the bar to where your palms are facing down now. Isolate those elbows to your sides, breathing out on the way up, all the way down. Okay, you want to have your hands slightly in to when you're curling, you're actually at an angle. Okay, you want to have that little bit slight inward face towards the midline of your body. Breathing out, all the way down. Okay, same rules apply. Isolate elbow, stop that breaking point, but by reversing that grip and on the hammer curls with the dumbbell, keeping that thumb up, actually it's the lateral part of your bicep.